Hi ducks! I'm studying for finals right now, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to go over some of the note-taking skills that I have honed thus far in my academic career. It'll also be a nice audit of the classes that I'm taking this semester. That's the thesis statement of this video. That's college. Uni. At uni. For my neuroscience course, the professors upload the PowerPoints that they use during the lecture a couple days before class actually happens, which gives me time to go through the PowerPoints online and do round one of note-taking, which is where I write everything down on the PowerPoints in my handy-dandy composition notebook in black ink, leaving room for extra notes, of course, but this method means that during the lecture I can actually listen to the professor talk rather than trying to scribble everything down as fast as possible before they click through to the next slide. Which is what I did last quarter, and then I'd have to go back and try and fill in the spots that I missed after class, and I much prefer this method. I still take notes during class, of course. I have a highlighter to mark vocabulary and key concepts and two different colored pens, one for underlining or emphasizing stuff, and another specifically to write down what the professor says during their lecture. Having all these pens might seem overcomplicated, but it's a good way to ingrain the information, and it keeps me focused during class, so I'm actively listening to the professor and trying to write stuff down in a way that it doesn't take up too much of my energy, but it's still interesting. It keeps me off my phone during lectures because I'm like highlighting stuff. I also use scented gel pens, and that's just fun. I'll use the colored pen to also write pertinent information that I find in the textbook next to my notes that it applies to, so by the end of the week, my notes are so colorful and pretty and useful. The teaching style of my art history professor is completely different. I would describe him as John Green on mind-altering substances. He basically spends 2 hours jumping around the lecture hall stage, yelling, growling, and beating the projector screen with a stick. It's the best. It's my favorite class. I probably take 6 back-to-front pages of notes per lecture. He has a lot to say about modernism. So I do shotgun notes with just one pen and a highlighter. Prof clicks a painting onto the projector. I write down and highlight the name of the piece and then try to write down everything that he says. Arrows linking artworks, bullet points for exact descriptions, just fast and furious. With that teaching style, it's helpful to come up with lots of abbreviations and symbols, so this is what my notes look like for that class. Yes, I am the only person who can read them. Sorry. And then the third class that I'm taking this quarter is French, because I will be taking French classes until I die. The teacher's a lovely grad student, and her PowerPoints have lots of cat pictures in them. I'm very appreciative. Gonna be honest, I have never taken good notes for any French class. I doodle a lot. I have my own dorky methods of studying languages, which I'll go over some other time. But yeah, very basic, just one color pen, one simple notebook, just writing down whatever's on the board, and then doing more stuff once I get home. If I was smart, then I would fold the notebook page in half and use one side of the paper to write down grammar rules and concepts, and the other half of the page to write down examples of those structures, and then when I'm studying, I can cover up different sides of the page and make myself come up with examples as like a recall exercise, but sadly, I'm not smart, I'm a fool, and those are the different ways that I've taken notes for my classes this quarter. Today's fact is that the scientific name for the banana is Musa sapientum, which means fruit of the wise man. That's all for me. I'm gonna go study or whatever. Later, nerds! I really do recommend taking notes in class with a pen and paper rather than with your computer or iPad or whatever newfangled device that you have, because it'll be less distracting and it really ingrains the information into your brain as you're writing it down. And also, the people who sit behind you can see your computer screen,